put it into action and put it into practice. So just
Okay, thank you very much. So by show of hands, let me see how many people have the book, because I remember I reminded you in the English lesson that we should buy the books. By show of hands, let me see how many people have the book. Yes, the number has improved. That is very good. Yes, let's keep helping our friends, and let's keep reminding our friends to buy the books and also to read the play. Yes, and by show of hands, let me see how many people have read the play, all the required scenes and act. That is very good. Okay. Now, yes, the number is improving. Yeah, that is very good. And remember, we are about to come back. And remember, it is a set book. I'll keep reminding you that it is a set book that will be examined by UNEB. So, for those people who have really read, that is a good thing. Thank you so much for reading. And I think Teacher Christine is here. Teacher Teddy is here. I think, but by show of hands, as Teacher Christine is preparing, can someone tell us what can someone help us revise what we did last week on Friday? By show of hands, what did we do? What did we discuss? What did we talk about in the literature lesson? Yes, Rebecca Faith, what did we do?
In last week's lesson, we looked at the return of Ngofu, Act 1, Scene 2, where we met characters like Kadesa, we met characters like Mude, we met characters like Bizia, we met characters like Ngofu Ngoda and his wife Nora, and we also met characters like Adonija.
Good, thank you. Anyone else to remind us of what we did last week? To revise with us? Okay, if no one is there, let's have Teacher Christine.
Teacher, I would like to continue with the plot that
you can
looked at.
Okay, so, it's okay. You can still continue.
So when we begin that scene at Kadesa's shrine, where we see Mude, and Mude is not there for like a regular visit. He's there to warn her that there is a second madness that has broken out in Dika, and they should be ready and prepared in case anything comes to their shrine. So and then Kadesa starts moving around, and it seems like she's having a revelation or something, but then she remembers a dream that she had, because we know Kadesa is a vegetarian, but then she dreamt that 2 nights ago she had meat, and that was a very bad sign. And then we move on to Bizia, who is the keeper of the shrine, and then Bizia is comes with a spear in hand, and then also Mude cautiously puts his hand on his pistol because there is a bit of tension between them. Then Bizia introduces Mattia, his brother, that a man and that they're leading a man and a woman to the shrine. Thereafter, Bizia tells them that the woman is pregnant, she has a child. Then this prompts Mude to urge Bizia and Adonijah, the man Adonijah also reinforces Mude's message by reporting that the fighting is on again, and this prompts Mude to urge Bizia and Mattia to be more careful as the fighting may trickle into the shrine. So just as they're talking, a cry of a newborn is heard coming from the shrine, and Adonijah announces that Ngofu Goda has come back. He has reincarnated in his second wife's baby. So thereafter, Kadesa sees a light of hope that this baby comes with a lot of good luck and a lot of hope, and tells them to get a dick and cut it to celebrate the baby.
Wow. Thank you very much, Faith. That is very good. I think I'll hand over to Teacher Christine or Teacher Teddy to take on from there. And that gives us hope that from Faith's summary that people are reading the text. Thank you. Over to you, Teacher Christine. Or Teacher Ted, whoever is ready.
Okay, so thank you so much, Teacher Prosi. I don't know, can you hear me, Teacher Prosi?
Yes, I can. Yes, we can. Go on,
Okay,
Teacher Christine.
Thank you so much. My internet is a bit unstable, but I pray that it works. All right, so thank you so much, Teacher Prosi, for going through and continue from there. We are going to continue. I don't know, I want somebody to remind us. I think we were looking at characters. Wrong. I don't know how many characters we had looked at so far. If somebody can just quickly remind us.
Just 3.
3, which characters?
Kadesa Mude and Bizia.
Kadesa busy. Okay, thank you so much. I don't. What did we say about Kadesa class? If you can quickly remind ourselves to make sure that we're on the same page. Yes, Faith.
We looked at Kadesa as a priestess who is in charge of the, let me say, refugee center that they set up at the border of Derima and Dinka to protect the exiles from Dinka because of the madness.
Okay.
She is a wise priest and she is also optimistic.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Faith. About that is Kadesa. Anything about Matia that we saw last week?
No.
Yes, class. Anything about Matia?
So we hadn't covered much here.
So what can we say about Matia? We looked at, does it mean we looked at Bizia, we looked at Mude? Okay, let's start from Matia. Yes?
Mattia is Bizia's brother.
Come again?
Mattia is Bizia's brother.
Okay. Okay, so let's continue now from there. Then let's look at the character. Let's start with Mattia, because I think we looked at Kadesa, we looked at Bizia, and we looked at Mude. So let's start with Mattia. What can we say about Mattia? Jovia?
I think Mattia is kind. because he leads the pregnant woman and the man who are strangers to him back to the shrine in order to seek refuge.
Matia is kind because she lets the pregnant woman and the gentleman, who the gentleman is Adonijah, to come to the shrine. Any other person to tell us something? Thank you so much, Jovia. And that is Rebecca.
Teacher, can we say that Matia is hospitable or welcoming? Because Mude says, should they try to force their way in, they will only have themselves to blame. Dogs will always sniff a stranger in a crowd. Then Matthias says, but why bother them? They are running away from danger, meaning he is welcoming these people, or he's like more hospitable than Mude.
Yes, so that is true. He's actually hospitable and at the same time welcoming. So hospitable can go with Rebecca. Any other person, class, to tell us something about Matia? But class, I think when you tell us about the character traits of Matia, tell us who Matia is. First, describe this person. Tell us who he is, what he does, and then you give us his character traits. Give a brief description of who this person is. Okay, any other person to tell us something about Matia? Okay, Rebecca.
In this book, in this play, we see Matia as Bizia's brother who leads Adonijah and Nora to the shrine of Kadesa to seek refuge.
Yes, thank you so much. That is what I wanted you to is. Thank you so much. Any other person that can give us a character trait of Matia? We've looked at him being kind, being welcoming, or hospitable. Any other thing? Any other? Okay, one other thing. Okay, we can say that Matia is actually intelligent. He's intelligent. When you look at page 20, like the way he's conversing, we see that he's really intelligent. Look at when he says that, when Mude says that, those okay, when Bizia first says that, also settled in Dika, haven't they? And Mude says that those were Nderema's original troublemakers, they were criminals. And that is, he says that in this belief, our people have contributed a lot to Nderema's development. So we can see that for somebody to converse in such a way, we see that he's an intelligent person. The way he converses with, and also the way he's carrying out himself, and his way of talking really shows that he's very intelligent. The character when he's seen here, did we look at Adonijah? No.
No.
Okay. Let's say something about Adonijah briefly. Yes, Faith.
In this play, we see Adonijah as the man who accompanies Ngofungoda's second wife Nora to Kadesa's shrine to seek refuge.
Okay, thank you so much, Faith. Faith, though I didn't get you very well, I think your network was breaking a bit. Your network is shaky.
I was saying that in this play, we see Adonijah as the gentleman who accompanies Gofungoda's wife Nora to the shrine to seek refuge.
Okay, thank you so much, Faith. Petra Abong, please mute yourself unless you want to give us the answer. So thank you, Faith. Faith has given us a brief description of who Adonijah is, and we see that she's actually the one that accompanies Gofungoda's, led the to Kadesa's shrine. Okay, thank you, Jovia.
Adonijah is kind because he helps Nora to reach the shrine in order to give back.
Okay, thank you so much. She actually helps Nora to go to the shrine so that she's able to give birth to the new Mugofu. Rebecca, okay, no, Zora.
Can superstitious be a character trait?
Superstitious.
Because he believes that Mugofugoda is coming back in form of a baby.
But could that really be superstitious, Zora?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if I doubt if that is being superstitious, because even cases I have seen, like people that lose their, I've seen, like I have a friend who lost her mother, and when the sister, the baby was named after the mother. So I don't know. I think that is not superstition.
Okay.
I don't know. Teacher Teddy, if you're there, can we really say that is superstition? I don't know that Teacher Teddy can hear me, but don't just unmute as if you're in a class. You put your hand up. Do you think the people that have put their hands up are doing a lot of nothing? Something, you put your hand up. Let's be organized. Okay, Teacher Teddy.
Please repeat the question on superstition. I didn't get it properly.
Okay, so as Zora, could you just repeat that?
I asked if superstitious can be a character trait. And I said the reason why I think this is because he thought that the baby came back as, Mugofungoda came back as a baby.
Okay, I hope Teacher Teddy, you were able to get that.
Yes, I have. Superstitious can be a character trait, but the example that you have given is not really superstitious. It is It is normal actually. It happens. So that example might not work very well if you're looking at superstitious as a trait.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Teddy, for that clarification. So it is just a normal thing, like I told you that a friend of mine lost the mother, but when the sister gave birth, the baby was named after the. It happens in our society, so that is something that is normal. Okay, let me have Jovia.
I think Adonijah is wise because he indirectly tells Adesa that Mugofungoda died in his arms, but they do not believe him. They think he doesn't know what he's saying.
Yes, thank you so much, Jovia. Very well, Jovia, there's a way you're always very far from your microphone. Please make sure that you get close to your microphone. So well, but yeah, it's true. We can actually say that Adonijah is wise, and okay, we can say he's wise or intelligent from the way he responds to the questions that he is asked. And we even see him using a lot of wise sayings. Like when you go to page 22, he says that when Bizia asks his name, I've already answered that question. Everything starts with a name. And then you are either a friend or a foe. Father, pastor, or chief, what do they mean? What is in a name? So the way he's actually, okay, when you continue to read, he says that they hunted one another like mad dogs. They destroyed our good name. This time I said, no, not again. I will not be a party to this again. So I decided eyes. So we see that he's actually very intelligent. But even when you go to page 23, we see him. He says that, how do I know? The pumpkin never says, worms have eaten my belly. When you graduate in the academy of life, you will hear the baby cry. But you and good Adonijah here are still waiting to graduate. So you see that he's actually very, very wise. Just look at the way he's conversing and the words that he says. It's not one who is not intelligent. So it shows his intelligence. The same even when you read and go to page 25, it's the same. It's the same thing. You realize that there's something different about Adonijah. Okay, Rebecca.
Teacher, we can also say that Adonijah is optimistic because he says, "Did you hear that? That's him. I knew it. I knew Ngofu would be back. You know, Ngofu didn't die. Ngofu is back." So he is very optimistic that Ngofu is back. And we can also say he is intelligent because there is a part when he says that he has evidence about the priests and the preachers and the chief that recorded all of their secret meetings.
Yes, thank you so much, Rebecca. That is very true. So he's also very optimistic. And yeah, he's very optimistic. I was also seeing, okay, that is it. It was something I was looking at, but that is it. It's very that is in page 21. So you can always note the pages and then go back and reread whatever you want to catch. Any other thing about Adonijah class?
Teacher Kristen. Teacher Kristen.
Yes, teacher. Sorry, teacher Teddy.
There seems to be a question in the chat. Sorry to take you back a bit. Someone is asking about certain words. That is bonita, nalwanga, kinsman, fringes, ululation, and portends. Much as we are going to give the meanings, girls, it's always good because you have those books at home and you also have dictionaries. You also do online lessons. So that means that you can use Google to get some of these words. So please always take time to find the meanings. So bonita, a kinsman is like your tribesmate or usually it's your tribesmate, someone who shares maybe the same clan or the same blood of some sort. That is your kinsman. Then I don't know which page you got fringes from, but if we look at the hairstyle, I hope you all know what a fringe is in front that some people do. It is on the border of your head. So fringes usually has something to do with the border or outer edges of something. So if you get the page, maybe then I'll give you the meaning in context. Then ululation is that sound that people make when they are happy at weddings. That one. And then the last one, to portend, that is a warning or a sign that something is likely to happen. Usually it is something bad, but sometimes it can also be something good. So Bonita, I hope you've gotten those words, but always take off time to do some research. Back to you, Teacher Christine. Sorry about that.
So relations is oh, no, that one. That is what that is it. So Daphne, you can go ahead.
Teacher, I wanted to beg your pardon on why Adonijah is said to be optimistic.
I don't know, I didn't get that the last part.
Teacher, I was requesting if you could pardon me on why Adonijah is said to be optimistic.
Okay. Faith, could you just repeat that for Daphne? Faith? Okay, so I think Faith is, I don't know, can you hear me, class?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So I think when you read let me okay, Faith, Faith, let me just look for that page. So we say that he was optimistic that Mugofu was to live again through his son. So when he says that, I knew it. It's in page 21. He says that, did you hear that? Yeah, did you hear that? That's him. I knew it. I knew Mugofu would come back. You know, Mugofu didn't die. Mugofu is back. So he was optimistic, or he was sure that Mugofu he was going to be reborn. So he had not given up on Mugofu dying. Something, whether you got that. Okay, I think those are the characters that we have there. Those are the characters that we have there. All right, so we are going to see more about these characters as we read ahead. That's what makes it interesting. What is it that makes it interesting there? What is it that? Okay, I'm still believing that I can see new hands. If we've all read the book, because I saw when Teacher Prosi asked who had read the book, I saw so many hands up. But I don't know whether it's Daphne and Rebecca that have only read the book, and Jovia, and maybe Zora. Those are today. I don't know the rest. We are a class of around 150 something, but I'm only seeing 2 hands. So it shows that we are actually sleeping. Some of us are sleeping. Okay, let's have Daphne. Yes, Daphne.
The wise sayings in scene 2 make the book interesting, like the wise sayings of Adonijah and the way he speaks to the people.
Okay, thank you, Daphne. So we've seen wise sayings. That's very. Any other thing? So make sure that as you put wise sayings, look for the wise sayings, and then as you write your notes, make sure that you include the wise sayings. Mercy.
Teacher, can you say that the heading of Act 1 Scene 2, which is Shrine of Peace 1, makes it interesting because you want to know why is the shrine peaceful and who are the people in the Shrine of Peace?
Not really. No, Topista, no, we cannot say the heading. Mostly when you talk about, mostly it goes to maybe poetry, or maybe when you're looking at a passage, something like that, but not here. So it's not standing out. Let me have Shona.
Yes, I had a question before I give my answer. That what are the words in brackets called?
Stage directions.
Okay, so I'll say that stage directions make the play interesting because it gives you like a picture to visualize it as you're reading.
Not really. Actually, no, that Shona, we cannot say that stage directions makes it interesting. You cannot give that. But then when you look at play, the characteristics of or the features of a play, all of them have stage directions, and interesting, or we cannot say it's a style, but it's just a feature. It's something that it has to have. So we cannot say, when you look at every play, like now when you look at every play always has stage directions. And like when you look at something like wise sayings, you might have wise, the return of Mugofu, but you not find it in maybe another play. You get? So we are looking at something that is okay. But thank you so much, Shona, for trying. Yes, Dav.
Teacher, first of all, I'm not sure, but can you say the mystery to the character Adonijah, in that where they think, okay, they're not sure whether he's crazy or not, and the belief that he has that Ngofu Ngoda has been reborn. Can you say that the mystery to the to the scene makes it interesting?
Not really, Dav. Not really. Not really. Thank you. Let me have Angie.
Teacher, can you say that the character traits of the characters in the play make the play interesting?
Character traits of the characters. Okay, not really. Not really. I think we need a teacher Teddy. I think we'll need another lesson on the things that really make something interesting. Teacher Prosi, do you want to add something?
I think when she talks about character traits, it should be a particular character trait. Maybe he's being humble, he's being proud. It should be a particular trait that will make it interesting. Thank you, but not the character traits, not the general character traits of everyone. Should be a particular one. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me have Charity Akitui.
So can you say that the use of proverbs makes the play interesting? For example, when Mude says, dogs will always sniff the stranger in a crowd.
That's true, but we can combine the wise sayings and proverbs, use of wise sayings and proverbs, because it's true, Charity. Thank you. So you can combine the wise sayings and proverbs. Thank you. Let's have Treasure. Treasure, you put your hand down. Okay, Immaculate.
The writer's vivid description of the play makes it interesting.
Okay, how? Explain.
Like in the play, I noticed when he's writing, like let's say somewhere where Story is introducing himself, he quotes in brackets, introduces himself after some hesitation. They call me Harry, seed of the old purple tree.
Okay. Thank you. So we can say vivid description. And maybe I don't know. I didn't get him. Immaculate, which illustration did you give?
The one where
Just
Thor
come
is
again.
introducing himself and the writer quotes in brackets introduces himself after hesitation.
But Immaculate, we don't see Thori in scene 2. Thori is in scene 1. So in scene 2, we are seeing the Kadesas, Mude, Bizia, Matia. Those are the people that we are seeing in scene 2.
Yes,
but
even in
we can still say that we see vivid description, and we've seen that even the way that is describing Adonijah when he says in page 16 that even the other one is unfit to step here. The other one, which other one? He says that man, he's got the moon's burden on him. Make any sense? He is mad. So anyway, when you read through, you realize that there are some specific things that have vividly, that are really, we get a lot of information from. Any other thing? There was something I was looking for. It's okay. Okay, any other? Let me see. Let me have an Insima.
Teacher, can you say that the use of metaphors makes the scene interesting? Like when Adonijah said, the calabash broke in my own arms, referring to the death of referring to when Mugofungoda died in his arms.
Okay. Which page?
I beg your pardon?
Which page is that?
Page 18.
Okay, that's page 18, the calabash. Let me see, the calabash broke in my arms, in my own arms. Can we really say that is a metaphor? That is, we can't actually say that is a metaphor. It's more of a wise saying. It's more of
What is a metaphor?
go and research. Bonita, go and research about what a metaphor is. Daphne?
Teacher, can you say, I'm not sure of the page, but can you say that the flashback makes the scene interesting? Like when, was it Adonijah was trying to explain what happened in
Come
the
again.
second madness?
What makes it interesting?
The flashback.
Okay.
And teacher, I also have a question.
Okay, first explain the flashback before you ask the question.
Can you say the flashback makes the scene interesting? Like when Adonijah was trying to explain what happened in the second madness and when he was trying to warn them to be careful.
Okay. Yeah, and remember last week teacher Teddy told us that here we are still, all that is happening here is actually a flashback. Happening here is a flashback. We've not even yet gotten into seeing what is happening, but what is flashback?
And teacher, my question.
Okay, you can ask.
Can you say that the short questions asked make the scene interesting? Like on page 21, when Bizia was asking, what kind of question is that? Something like that.
Not really. Because we can get short questions in anything. In mostly such things go in poetry, but when you look at a play or a novel, we don't look the short questions, the short lines and all that. We don't use that. Sorry. Okay, Rebecca.
Teacher, I have two answers, but I'm not really sure if they're correct. My first answer is the dialogue in the play. The dialogue between the characters or in the play, it's really wise, really interesting. Makes play very interesting because we see what has the other characters. So that wise dialogue makes the play. And another answer I have is exaggeration.
Faith, I think
It's the Adonijah's statements are characterized by really exaggerated words. Instead, yeah, they're really exaggerated.
okay. So when you're exaggeration, you need to be very, very specific on what is being. And you talked about the dialogue. I will not take that. When you look at the play, a play is actually dialogue. What happens in a every is a dialogue. So we cannot take it interesting. I hope that's clear. Please do that. And then about exaggeration, yes, we can see some bit of it, but it still carries so much it as to the other things that make. The other thing that we can look at is we see, I don't know, I want you to research more about monologue. please, you can research what monologue is, and then one of you will tell us during our next lesson what monologue is. The other thing that we can actually say that is there is, let me see, there was something that I'd seen, but let me look for it. As we look for it, maybe we can look at the themes that are here. What are some of the themes that are here as I look for it?
Teacher Kristen.
Yes, Teacher Teddy.
There are just a few things that I'd like to add. Someone did point out metaphors, okay? And we do have many of those. We actually have very many metaphors and similes in this particular scene. I'll just give examples and then people will try to find out the meanings. On page 12, in Kadesa's speech, that is in the middle, that long speech, which is kind of like a monologue. We see her saying, our people behaved like deranged animals, killing one another like ruthless brutes. So the deranged animals there and like ruthless brutes, that's a simile. Then the deranged animals, that is a metaphor. She's referring to her people and what they do. So I hope you can see the character traits that she brings out. Then when you go to page 14, it is still Kadesa, the third last speech that begins, Mude, don't you remember him? Somewhere towards the end of that speech, she uses a simile and asks him, why are you trembling like a chicken? Okay, so I think very many of you have shake their feathers off to remove the water. So that is how she views. Then on page 16, Busia's speech towards the very end of that page, the one that begins, the man, he's got the moon's burden on his head. They're talking about Adonijah. And Bizia uses a metaphor on Adonijah. He's got moon's burden on his. I think I muted myself.
Teacher Teddy, I think you're breaking. Okay.
Oh, okay. Am I clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're clear.
Did you hear anything that I said?
Teacher, you were talking
Yes.
about moon's burden.
So in page 16,
Bizia and the moon's burden.
But the
Okay.
page.
Page 16. Okay, on page 16, are we there? Someone is also speaking. So I'm talking about here and how he's commenting on Adonijah, and he says that Adonijah has got the moon's burden on his head. When we talk about someone having the moon's burden, we're usually talking about them being mad. It's a polite way of saying that someone is mad. It's a euphemism of some sort, but it can also be referred to as a metaphor. So these people think that Adonijah is mad, but in reality, he is not mad. Then another, well, this could be a metaphor. It could also towards the end, it's time, give him Don't throw the old bucket away before you know water. It can be a verb, but old bucket there can also be still on the same page. A bucket for a head. Do you think bananas? That whole speech there is a metaphor. It can also be a question that people look at mad. I am very sane and you should listen. Page 19, the very first, that is line 1, 2, 3, 4. Kadesa's speech, line 4 on page 19. She asks, are they taking care of our harbinger of good news? From you. I think that's kind of it from metaphors and similes, I hope. Then there are very many proverbs. On page 20, we have a proverb in Mude's speech, no basket carries all the goods from a sack. On page, on page 26, we have another proverb, better a fool than a knave, they say. That is Mude's last speech on that page. On page 19, we also have two proverbs there. Mude's second last speech, dogs will always sniff the stranger in a crowd. That is a proverb. And then the last speech as well has another proverb. The neighbor's snake bite does not stop you from dancing your moon dance. I hope people can get that meaning. If a neighbor has an issue or a problem, it doesn't stop you from going ahead if you had a dance to attend or something like that. If you had another function planned. Okay, so Mude is, in a way, that proverb is a little selfish, but it is the reality. I think we have seen it in our lives. Your neighbor might be having a problem, but in your household, you are actually happy. Another proverb is on page 14. Busia's second last speech on that page. The thin edge of the wedge is dangerous. Okay, he's trying to give warning to Kadesa. Then I'd like to also talk about the symbolism of the word madness. The second madness, the first madness. On page 13, when Mude comes to tell Kadesa what is happening in Ndika, Kadesa asks, when did this madness begin? So to them, whatever is happening in Ndika is a sign of insanity. So the madness there is not actual madness that people have run mad, but that insanity of people killing one another. We are all human beings. Why should one group of human beings decide that they are better than others and probably kill them or try to get rid of them? So in Kadesa's opinion, that which is going on in Ndika is madness. It's insanity. And it is symbolic of the evil in human nature. And I guess those are things that I had to point out. Others have been commented on, so I will not get into that. Back to you, Teacher Christine.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Teacher Teddy, for that wonderful addition. Okay, so any other thing, class, that we can look at the themes just very fast, a few of them. Let's look at them. Any theme that you have noted? Okay, Daphne.
Can you say suffering?
Why?
Chef, because of the way they were trying to explain what happened about the madness.
Okay. Sorry, Daphne, I didn't get that very clearly, but suffering in terms of, unless you want to explain suffering as a theme, could we go with suffering as a theme? That one, let's put a star there. Though for me, it's something there. Okay, let's look at others. We'll come back to that. Jovia.
I see the theme of tribal conflict because in Act 1, Scene 1, Story and Story War talk about how there was the first madness in Mandika and led to many negative effects.
Okay, thank you, Jovia. That is it. We have tribal conflict, and we see Ndika and we see Ndika and the others, Ndika and Ndika actually fighting, and we see that is why Mude comes to warn Kadesa about the fight, saying that people are miming one another and blaming it all on you. Those torching houses are said to be your followers. They claim to have been trained here before your eyes. So we see that there is actually a tribal conflict, and it is the same conflict that has Gofu to move, and that is why we see his wife Nora with Adonijah, and it's all because of tribal conflict. Okay. Any other person? Let me see, Rebecca.
Teacher, could we say that the belief in supernatural or spirits, because of the way Kadesa believes that her eating meat 2 nights ago had something to do with the current madness that is going on?
Let's say superstition. Rebecca, we can say superstition, and we see that there is a lot of superstition here. Kadesa believing that having eaten meat in a dream is what is causing everything that is happening. Eating of meat is it's a bad omen. So somebody had talked about suffering. Could you explain what you meant by suffering? You didn't actually give any illustration to us why you're saying suffering. Daphne?
Yes, teacher. I said suffering because of when Adonijah was trying to explain what brought them to Kadesa's shrine for help, because they were running away from the madness. So that's what I thought suffering.
Okay. Yeah, so that is true. We can actually say suffering, and we see that even the way a person, but is not actually mad, but it's because of all that he has gone through that is what is making him behave the way. And the fact that, let me see, there was a place that when Bizia in page 16 says that the man, he's got the moon's burden on his head. What does he, sorry, what he says does not make any sense. So it's because of the suffering and all that Adonijah had gone through. That is what is actually making him behave the way. Okay. So here, Adonijah simply is just disturbed because of the suffering that he has gone through, all the things that he had seen, the killings and all that. That is why he's behaving the way he's behaving, but we cannot actually. He's mad. Okay, any other person, class? Let's see. I don't know. Is that please? Patronella? Okay. Faith, go ahead.
And teacher, can say that there is social injustice as a theme when Bizia opposes the idea of Nora Gofungoda's wife to give birth from the page 15, when he says that we must do something. We should stop them before they get to this sacred place. She can't do it here, can she? I mean, it would be a taboo, wouldn't it? So isn't that a form of social injustice?
Yeah, that is like he feels it's not good for her to come to the shrine because of the way she look. And I think what the Bizia thought is what Bizia thinks is that a shrine is a holy place and such a person cannot come to the shrine. So yes, we can say it's social injustice. Other thing? Okay, Jovia.
So can you say there's a theme of forgiveness and reconciliation because Tori and Toriwa are sent as messengers from the ancestors to tell the people to like seek for forgiveness and reconcile with their neighbors.
Maybe I didn't get the theme of what?
For forgiveness and reconciliation.
Okay, reconciliation. Okay. But although I didn't get Tori, unless if you're taking us to reconciliation in scene 1, not in scene 2. We are not seeing Tori and Toriwa in scene 2. So Esther, please, Esther, wind up very fast. We are actually 4 minutes. We shoot 4 minutes.
Teacher, can preparation be a theme?
Preparation?
Yes, because I think the way Mude plans to warn Kadesa, making preparations for her safety and for her protection, and preparation for Mugofu's rebirth.
No, but we can't say that there's a theme of preparation. No, such a theme does not exist there. Patronella, I don't know what's wrong with you, but should behave. I want you to find out what a monologue is. Find out what a monologue is. And then the other thing is there's that one theme that I don't want to leave today's lesson without talking about is good leadership. And we see that good leadership here is being portrayed by a good leader, and the fact that she actually accepts strangers into her shrine and more man whom she doesn't even know to come to her shrine shows that she's actually a very good leader. Even after Bizia telling her that the other one is unfit to come into the shrine, she still says, go and help them over here. And we see that she's actually a very good leader. So, and please make sure that you read the whole of Act 2 so that we continue from there next week. And if you have questions, you can ask the questions in Google Classroom, or you keep the questions up to next week. Let's have somebody just, I don't know whether teacher something, teacher Teddy, teacher Prosi.
Teacher Christine, I only want to encourage the girls to read the text and participate. We learn from each other. So, if we want to participate, we have to read the book. So let us read the book and let us participate. The class will be more interesting if all of us participate. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher Teddy. Do you have to add?
No, teacher Christine, I'm good. Thank you for the lesson.
Okay, so thank you so much, students. Thank you to everyone that has participated. Let's have somebody just give us a closing prayer as we wind up. A prayer, people still think, should I put my hand up? Should I do this? Okay, Kimberly, please pray. Okay, Rebecca, you can pray.
Let's arm ourselves for a word of prayer. Almighty Father, I would like to thank you for this day. We would like to thank you for this lesson. Thank you very much for taking us through the whole lesson. We pray that you may continue guiding us and you may help us understand everything that we have been taught. We bless you and we love you in the Lord's name I have prayed. Amen.